Welcome to the Medical Marijuana Bootcamp. I'm Tang.
I'm Chubbs.
And today we're going to talk about patient flow in the dispensary and specifically wait times, dealing with wait times. Chubbs, I know it's my experience and a lot of you patients out there's experience where you go to a dispensary, you're not a new member, you already have your card on file, but you're sitting chilling in the waiting room or the bud room forever, maybe 25, 30, 35, 45 minutes sometimes to get your bud. What can dispensaries do to improve wait times?
There's very few things, as a dispensary owner, I can tell you there's very few things that I can do at my place to increase the flow and that will not negatively impact the experience that the member has. Because what happens is, let's say you get 20 people in your lobby and it's a little rush. You open doors at 11 o'clock, by 11:30 you've got 15 or 20 people in the lobby. We do one patient per bud tender in the bud room. Reason for that is when you're standing there, you want the VIP treatment. You want that one-on-one experience. You don't want people looking over your shoulder. You don't want to feel rushed.
Right.
So at Nuggetry, we have 2 big glass cases, so we have room for 2 bud tenders. That means in our bud room, there's no more than 2 people, or 2 groups. If you come in with 3 people, you're all together, those 3 will be handled by one bud tender.
Okay.
So our choices are either have 15 or 20 people in an air-conditioned lobby where there's couches, a girl behind the desk talking to them, flat screen TV with a good movie playing, or we could have just lined them up in the bud room looking over the shoulder of the person that's actually being helped. I didn't like that. We tried that. We actually tried it. It didn't work out. So when it comes to being able to increase the flow and getting people in and out quicker and reduce the wait time, really the only thing you can do is add sales base, add more bud tenders to the room, which is not always possible.
Yep. Yeah, you're limited by space or resources.
That would be, for my shop, my personal experience, the only way we would be able to get people in and out quicker is to add an extra glass case and get a 3rd bud tender in there, which we are going to do, but after that we have no room to grow. Right.
I mean, a place like Nuggetry, you specialize in the one-on-one treatment,
Right.
So you're never going to have more than one group per bud tender.
Right.
And there's a definite appeal in that, especially new patients that they want to know all about your medication.
And one thing we don't do is pre-weigh either. We don't do pre-weigh. So
now,
that takes a little bit longer.
Now that's something that I know Harborside, right? It's pretty quick, right? So
because they have so many patients there, they have to be. They're almost in my opinion, almost forced to pre-weigh. Otherwise, you're going to be there all day.
And Harborside, I mean, if you want to describe Harborside a little bit for the people, they have like that weigh stand too. So not only is it pre-weigh, they actually weigh it one more time before it goes out.
Exactly. So it takes them a little bit longer than pre-weighed, but it's still quicker than if you have the glass jar and they're pulling the nugs out individually like we do in San Diego. But when you get to a point where you're so big and people are actually complaining about the wait times,
right?
Sometimes you have to make changes, and I can see why that's why they do the pre. As much as I don't like pre-weight, and as much as I swear we'll never do it in San Diego, I can see that's why it would be done. Pre-weighing. Don't bullshit. Don't tell your bud tenders. It's in and out. Don't just stand around talking anything like that.
Right. There's actually one kind of innovative system that I recently saw at California Patient Association. They actually do something different. The bud tenders, you tell them what they want, and they write it on a piece of paper. And then when your order's done, they take the piece of paper to a place in the back. And Sunshine Holistic Association actually has this as well. And they slip the paper through the back, and then somebody in the back actually fulfills your order, staples everything up, puts a sticker on, gives you your baggie, and then the bud tender grabs it from the little repository and gives it to the patient.
Gotcha.
And it's an interesting system. The advantage of it is that it can be extremely fast, and it can be extremely efficient because you have multiple guys in the back and you have multiple bud tenders up front. Right. Now the disadvantages you don't see what you're getting before you get it, because it's in the back, so you see just a little sample jar.
You see the sample jar,
but
right.
you don't see the big jar.
Right, exactly. And I got to be honest with you, that means a lot to people. Some people really like seeing the jugs. I mean, honestly, at Nuggetry, we will let you pick your nug. You can choose your own nug. We'll break out the jar, and he'll be like, I want that nug, and I want that nug. Yep. So I can see where, but it takes a while. Yep. It takes a while. It takes us a minute to go through and individually pick out the nugs. Yep. Fortunately, we're not at a point right now where we have giant wait times.
I'm Tang from Medical Marijuana Bootcamp.
I am Chubbs from Medical Marijuana Bootcamp.
Peace.
Fucking plane threw me off.